One would think that the early retired life is all about sitting by the beach and sipping mojitos. The job is done and you can relax and do nothing for the rest of your life. Well, as an early retiree, I like to say otherwise. In a way, it seems that early retirement gives you all the time in the world to stare into the ocean mindlessly for all eternity. If that is the case for me, I don't think I'm going to last very long in this early retirement game. I'm not talking about my money running out, I'm talking about my health and sanity running out. Don't you think a retirement like this will just be rotting your mind and decaying your body? Hi, I'm John from the Corporate Breakout Couple. My wife, friend and I retired 3 years ago and now living in the beautiful island of Penang. In today's video, let's have a conversation about the key differences between traditional ways of retiring and the modern ways of retiring. But before that, we'll appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube family.
When we look at retirement in the past, who do we take the retirement picture from? It's from our grandparents and from our parents, right? Back in the day, it's so easy to retire because their life was very simple. There's no such thing as expensive cafes, brunches, expensive coffee. No, there weren't any of that. No expensive bars, restaurants, Michelin star food, none of that. Their day began with probably a cup of coffee, which cost about 20 cents, 10 cents, and kaya toast. And that was it. And they could exist like that for years because life was simple. Hey, but now in 2023, life isn't that way anymore, isn't it? In our grandparents and parents' era, staying in that one job is a huge accomplishment and something to be very proud of. If you're in the banking, the bank will take care of you for the rest of your life. If you're in a big MNC, the MNC will take care of you for the rest of your life, give you a very good golden handshake, and also probably in some cases there are some pensioners as well. For them, working until retirement age was a no-brainer. They know that their retirement future is secured. Secured by who? By the company. Everything's already all planned out and all they need to do is just be a good employee and work until their retirement age, and then they can take the happy retirement. Back then, it was okay for them to just be skillful in just one thing and one thing only. Because why would they need to learn so many things anyway? The world was just going by peacefully and there was no need to upskill yourself for anything. Your retirement was already taken care of.
In today's world, how modern retirement looks like is very different. Here are 3 key differences which we are going to highlight to you. Number 1, inflation. When our parents and grandparents drew a retirement payout, say 20 years ago, were they ready for this level of inflation that's happened in the last decade or so? Well, inflation really shot up in the last decade or so, didn't it? Especially during the last 3 pandemic years. Did our retired folks actually have a game plan for such scenarios? Since the global financial crisis that happened in 2008 because of the Lehman Brothers collapse, there's been crazy levels of money printing, quantitative easing by the central banks of the world. And with the insane level of money printing that's been happening and trillions of debts are incurred by the US and the world, don't you think the value of currency has been eroded severely? It doesn't matter what currency you're holding. It can be US dollars, British pounds, Japanese yen, Sing dollars, Malaysian ringgit. Your $1 is no longer worth the same as 10 to 15 years ago. And in 1971, when the gold standard, when gold is pegged to US dollars, was lifted by President Nixon from the United States, fiat currency was born, which means the currency that's only backed by the governments of the world, and that allows governments and central banks to print money excessively. And what does that mean to you guys? With this level of inflation due to the money printing, that really affects your purchasing power in any part of the world. So if $1 million was enough for our parents and grandparents to retire back then, it sure ain't enough for today's time, let alone 10, 20, 30 years from now.
We cannot keep our heads in the sand and pretend that all is well. Gen X is the next upcoming generation in the next 10 to 20 years who will be retiring, and they are facing a bleak retirement horizon. Oh wait, that's John and my generation. We know of many people our age or older who are simply not financially ready at all to retire. They have not started any retirement planning at all. For you to have a successful modern retirement, you need to take control of your financial future, and that starts now.
A second key difference is in mindset. When you retire traditionally, when you stop work completely. I'm not referring to volunteering at charitable organizations or taking part in social activities. I'm talking about not keeping up with current affairs, even like for example, keeping up with the financial markets, keeping up with what's going on in the world and currencies and inflation and all that. In a way, it's kind of like setting up shop, isn't it? Once you retire traditionally, you just go about your routine, the same things day in and day out, you meet the same friends, watch your TV, and kind of, just go into a total laid-back lifestyle. Nothing new comes in and nothing new goes out. In today's modern times, the best way for yourself to keep abreast with what's going on in the world, the current affairs, is to take an active approach. In order to do that, you must adopt an open-minded approach to learn continuously, to wear the white belt, and be always a student. A third key difference, tech disruption and social media. Since the internet boom from the late 90s, internet has changed things forever, and there are generations now that has actually lived through their entire life without knowing there wasn't an internet before. In today's current day and age, technology keeps evolving and changing our lives in every way. For example, AI is the talk of the town now. Not long ago, it was blockchain and cryptocurrencies. And let's not forget about social media. It keeps evolving constantly as well. People are getting their news from social media feeds, like from Facebook, running searches on things they want to know on TikTok, and even hopping on to new apps like Threads. And if you're somebody who has retired 10-20 years ago, it's really tiring to keep up, to really transform from being an analog person to a digital person, because that's what has really happened for these guys. For example, the bank account, updating them. They used to go to the bank with their bank book to have it manually updated by the teller. But now everything is online, so it's a very big stretch for them to learn how to go online, and not forgetting all the scams as well. People are impersonating people, hackers are on the rise. It's so difficult to manage yourself digitally as an old person nowadays. So in today's modern retirement, you will always need to be on your toes and keep abreast, otherwise you will get left behind. So here are a few suggestions for you so you can set yourself up for modern retirement. The first one is to set your intention and your goals. For example, when Fran and I set up this YouTube channel about 10 months ago, we were right there at the beach with our dog, saying that we want to travel the world and go all over. Penang is really just the start, as our intention is to travel around the world. And guess what? We did exactly that. That's because we set our intention and go about executing it. Point number 2, take continuous action. We did a video not long ago called Ready, Fire, Aim, and the things that are stopping you from taking continuous action. Do go and watch that, because that will be really helpful for people, especially who are fearful about taking their first steps. And finally, always be in learning mode. Be in creation, always be a learner of others, and stay open-minded. We hope we have shed some light on modern retirement and the points resonated with you. Do like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel to join our YouTube family. See you soon!